Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss the chemical control of the respiration. In my previous video, I discussed the neuronal control of the respiration and also introduced the chemical control of respiration. What is meant by the chemical control? Chemical control means that the respiratory rate is going to be checked by the changes in the chemistry of the blood. Now the next thing, what things they are going to change the chemistry of the blood? They are mainly H ions, carbon dioxide and hydrogen and oxygen. They are going to change the chemistry of the blood. The next thing is how they are affecting. For that they have specific receptor which are located at specific places, and through these receptors the nerves they are connected to the higher centers and they stimulate the higher centers, and then the corresponding change is carried out by the respiratory center. What is the detail? Now we are going to discuss that one. Before discussing the details, I would like to give you an idea about the receptor system. That is the chemoreceptor system. It consists of central chemoreceptor system and the peripheral chemoreceptors. Central chemoreceptors, they are mainly present in the brain and they are very much sensitive for the change in the hydrogen ion and carbon dioxide. While the peripheral chemoreceptors, they are located in the carotid and aortic bodies and they are meant to detect the change in the oxygen concentration of the blood. So we have two parallel systems regarding the chemoreceptor system to control the respiratory rate. We will discuss them separately and they are going to act in a very different manner. First of all, the central chemoreceptors, they are stimulated by carbon dioxide or the excess of the hydrogen ions. Now I want to tell you one more thing, that these specific chemicals that are carbon dioxide and H ions, they are going to stimulate the respiratory center directly. While the oxygen, as I have told you, for that one we have the chemoreceptors far beyond the central nervous system in the carotid and aortic bodies. So oxygen concentration, whenever it is changed, it is going to stimulate these carotid and aortic bodies, and then through the nerves it is going to stimulate the CNS. So it has indirect effect, while the carbon dioxide and hydrogen ion, they have the direct effect upon the respiratory center. The part of the CNS which is responsible to detect the change in the chemistry of the blood regarding H ions and carbon dioxide, that specific area is called the chemosensitive area. In some book it is labeled here, so you must correct it, that it is this area which is called the chemosensitive area. This area is mainly stimulated by H ions, but unluckily the H ions cannot cross blood-brain barrier easily. So what happens? The carbon dioxide, that is this one, rather it can cross the blood-brain barrier very easily. So initially what happens, carbon dioxide cross the barrier. Once it is inside the brain, it combines with water to form the carbonic acid, which soon dissociate into H ion and bicarbonate. This whole reaction takes place in the presence of carbonic anhydrase specific enzyme, and I introduced this specific enzyme in my previous video also, and told you what is the importance of that enzyme. So this is the place where in our body we can have this enzyme in the brain. Once the dissociation of the carbonic acid into H ions and bicarbonate take place. Now these H ions, they are produced inside the brain into the chemosensitive area and going to stimulate this area strongly. Once it is stimulated, these you can see that from this area the strong impulses, they are going to main dorsal group of neurons, which is the main controlling center, neuronal center to control the respiratory rate. And this area, once it is stimulated, it is going to manage the change of the chemistry of the blood to how to after the sending impulses to the corresponding respiratory muscles to change the respiratory rate accordingly, so that the control of the chemistry of the blood that is attained. Here I want to ask one question, that why does blood carbon dioxide have a more potent effect in stimulating the chemosensitive neuron than do blood hydrogen ions? As I have told you, the answer is that the blood-brain barrier is not very permeable to hydrogen ions, but carbon dioxide passes through this barrier almost as if the barrier did not exist. So, to cross the barrier, we need carbon dioxide. Once it is inside, it combines with the water to form the carbonic acid, which soon dissociates into H ions and bicarbonate ions. Now this is the that hydrogen ion that are the strongest stimulant for the chemosensitive area, and whole story begins. As far as the peripheral chemoreceptor system is concerned, it is mainly for the oxygen. Whenever there is change in the oxygen concentration of the blood, what happens? The specific receptors which are located in the carotid bodies and the aortic bodies, they are stimulated. Now the question is, what are the carotid and aortic bodies? Where they are located? Carotid bodies, they are bilaterally present in the bifurcation of the common carotid arteries. I will show you the picture also. Afferent nerve fibers through the glossopharyngeal nerves reach to the dorsal group of neurons. Aortic bodies, they are present along the arch of the aorta, and from there the nerves through the vagi, they are going to reach the same dorsal group of neurons. From this diagram you can see the peripheral chemoreceptor system, that is carotid bodies located in the arch of the carotid artery, while the aortic bodies, while the carotid arteries, they are present at the bifurcation of the carotid artery. I repeat it. Aortic bodies, they are present in the arch of the aorta, while the carotid bodies, they are present in the bifurcation of the carotid arteries. From there, through the nerves, that is the vagus and the glossopharyngeal nerve, they reach to the medulla oblongata, to the specific dorsal group of neurons. And once it is stimulated, it is going to change the respiratory rate accordingly. And from this you can see the role of the carotid artery and carotid bodies and the aortic bodies, how they are stimulated. What is the basic mechanism? For the basic mechanism, we must know that In the carotid bodies, we have two types of the cell, type 1 and type 2. I would like to show you this diagram. This is the type 1 and type 2 cells. Type 1 very specific cells, which are called the glomus cell, have the nervous attachment. Once the change occur in the oxygen concentration in the blood, they are stimulated and they send impulses through the glossopharyngeal nerve. You can see as the nerve is going to make synapse with these cells. Its further detail is a decrease in oxygen tension in oxygen sensitive carotid body. Type 1 cells is detected by primary oxygen sensor that rapidly communicate with the potassium channels. And what happens? This leads to the closure of these channels and opening of the voltage gated calcium channels. Once these channels they are open, neurotransmitter that is going to be released to stimulate the nerves. From this picture you can see this is the change the change in the chemistry of the blood. Whenever there is change in the chemistry of the blood, calcium ions they are going inside, and what happens in response to that, on the other side the acetylcholine vesicles they are released and the stimulus is carried out through the nerve to reach the higher centers. Now I would like to show you the previous slide again. This one. Multiple highly characteristic glandular-like cells called glomus cells that synapse directly or indirectly with the nerve endings. These cells might function as the chemoreceptors and then stimulate the nerve endings. The details of this mechanism is not present in your textbook, so must concentrate this video and copy these slides. I want to show you these glomus cells and what is happening inside that this one. The details are, you must copy this slide also because the details are not written in your textbook. So through this mechanism, the glomus cells they are stimulated, and once they are stimulated, you can check the color changes in the carotid artery so that the normal concentration of the oxygen that is attained. Now I want to give you a summary about the neuronal and the chemical control together. From this diagram, please concentrate this one because it is a very nice diagram in which the neuronal and the chemical control they are shown together. From here you can see that the high centers they have the positive and negative effect on the dorsal group of the neuron. The positive and negative signs means they are alternated with the stimulus. As the stimulus is there, they answer accordingly. The stretch receptors in the lungs and the irritant receptors in the bronchi and bronchiole, they are giving the impulses to the dorsal group of the neurons, and from the carotid and aortic bodies, the peripheral chemoreceptors and the central chemoreceptors, which are mainly concerned with the carbon dioxide HI. They are also affecting this one. Receptors in muscles and joints, how they are stimulated because of the exercise. And in the next video, I will explain all the changes regarding the exercise, what changes occur in our body during exercise, in the exercising muscle, regarding respiration, heart, all these things they will be discussed in the next video. Here you must see that they are also giving or affecting the neuronal center, that is the dorsal group of neurons, and other receptors, especially the emotional stimuli. I would like to explain this also, as during Viva or any special emotional condition, the respiratory rate is going to be changed accordingly, maybe increase or maybe decrease. So that is going to affect this one, that is the hypothalamus. And again the hypothalamus, which is another part of the brain, that is also going to control the dorsal group or affect the dorsal group of neurons. So in this one single diagram, the neuronal control and the chemical control with other receptors which are going to affect the dorsal group of neurons, that is all together shown in one picture. So you must concentrate and understand completely this picture. With this we complete the neuronal and chemical control of the respiration. In the next video I will discuss the changes which occur during exercising period regarding the exercising muscle, heart and other parts of the body, and how we are going to manage it. Okay, thank you and Allah Hafiz.